So about 3 months ago, I switched to DaVinci Resolve. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a director, DP, editor. I do it all like most young filmmakers, trying to figure out what they like. I love directing the most, but I also love editing. I'm also an editor for my job with a production company, but how I got that job is actually the reason that I learned DaVinci. I've had the free version of DaVinci for a year. Here and there, I've tried it out. You've heard, oh, the color is unmatched, how you can change things, and it is, but I wasn't ever, like, I never gave it a shot before I needed to give it a shot. And why did I need to give it a shot? Well, you're about to find out. I was 3 months ago, I'm on my way, nervous, sitting in the car, blasting 50 Cent, driving to a meeting with a local production company. At this point, I've been working as a DP. I've been working slowly at upgrading my camera kit. I've invested over $30,000 to $40,000 into my films, into my company Sukavision, and to get better gear, to be a better filmmaker, and to offer more. And I've always edited on Final Cut Pro, and I'm on my way to this meeting. Like I said, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous because, like, for me, before meetings, I get so nervous. I don't know about you. I'm not a socially anxious person when I'm being social, but before I'm social, no matter what it is, the nerves are off the charts. I don't know what that is. It's just my little quirk. I walk into the door, I get a tour of this office, I sit down, and I am going back and forth. They're asking me questions, I'm asking them. In my head, I'm like, these are people I want to work with. I look up to them. They make awesome stuff. I want to work with them. I knew going in, my uncle always told me, and a lot of people have always told me, these are adults giving me good advice of saying, be valuable. How can you provide value to someone? Someone's going that you want to get work from needs to see your value. I know I'm not going to be able to probably outwork the director or the DP at my age. I might believe I can, but to an adult, if I'm thinking as a 30 to 40-year-old adult or a producer and they're looking to hire out, they're going to go with the guy that has more experience, of course. Even if the young gun has more ideas or feels like he has more ideas. I feel like I do, but I don't have that experience. I don't have that full experience to have dealt with everything yet. So it's like, I know going into this meeting that I'm not probably going to be hired for these big roles. Not yet. I believe in the future these things will come. But I know going in, I'm like, all right, I need to see, is this somewhere I fill in as a PA? Do I offer my skills there? Where do I be valuable? So I'm sitting in this meeting, and yes, this is still about DaVinci Resolve. I just tell long stories. That's another one of my quirks. You know, I'm in quirks. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm here. They start talking about that they're looking to eventually expand, bring in an editor. And in that moment, they start talking. They're like, we use DaVinci mainly because it's a powerhouse, but also because it has this cloud that someone can be editing in Office A and Office B. They can be working in the same file on a different timeline or working together, coloring as someone cuts. That's ludicrous. That's diabolical. That's crazy that you can be doing that. As a production company and a marketing agency, I feel like every production company should be editing on DaVinci for that sole reason. And coming from Final Cut Pro, this whole space was so much to look at because now I am on DaVinci Resolve. And like I said, at this time, I had the free version. I used it. I tinkered with it, but I never was like, Final Cut works for me. And I was very big on use what works for you. And sitting there, they're like, oh, what do you edit on? And I was like, Final Cut Pro. And I kind of felt a little bit like, it's kind of like when you say Final Cut Pro, people give you, are you sure? It's like, I made good stuff. I made a film that's gotten to an Oscar qualifying film festival in Final Cut Pro. Anyone, whatever you edit on, you can be successful. But it's like, how do you make your life easier? How do you give yourself more tools in the toolbox? How do you work more efficiently? And these are all things DaVinci just home runs. And in this moment, I decided, okay, I want to be valuable. If the time comes where they need something to be edited, I want to know DaVinci Resolve. I got home and immediately switched my recent film, The Great Escape. The entire timeline was on Final Cut Pro, and I painstakingly brought the file in and sorted through 90 audio tracks of The Great Escape. because for some reason, the files don't convert from Final Cut to DaVinci Resolve fluidly, and I had so much sound design in my movie that it was so overwhelming, and I took 20 hours to drag everything, and just the way of managing everything's on one timeline in Final Cut Pro. It's super great if you're creating like a vlog, a YouTube video, something, or even something just where you don't need so many layers and so much sorting and precision. Like if you need a quick, it's a quick and easy. You want it quick and easy? Go to Final Cut Pro. You want that long, good connection? You go to DaVinci Resolve. There's no contest. You want it to be the fact that you can mix and manage your audio, then jump into Fusion and work on creating animation and keyframes, and then jump into the color space, which is just like whoosh, just do anything in the color space. Taking and transforming the images, the before and after images I have for The Great Escape are like it's night and day. I turned a Michigan trail into a like South African jungle, like with the masking and way you can control light and shaping this hard contrasted image was just insane. So over this time I was like, all right, no matter what, I'm using DaVinci Resolve from now on. At that moment, not even knowing that 3 months later I'd be on set working as a camera operator for the same production company I met with. And they had an instant where it came up, they needed a graphic made real quick. And in that moment, I saw the director working on it, and I was like, hey, you go take your break, let me try. Just trying to show that I can provide value here and that I can fill in these gaps where they're needed. Then again, the option came where, or the kind of this circumstance where I was in a conversation at the end of the day, and they're like, oh, we got to get this edit done. And I could kind of see that, all right, if I was in this position, if I shot something all day, which I did shoot, but knowing that the director had a much harder job than me, as just a camera operator, seeing, all right, the stress is definitely there. This is my place to provide value. So I jump in there and I say, hey, I will come edit this for you tonight. You can see I'd love to work and clear up your schedule. I'm free. And then boom, I start driving home. The excitement is overwhelming. I'm like, this is it. This is the moment I literally was thinking back 3 months ago. I'm like, this is it. This is what I've trained for. My training arc's over. Literally, the training arc was over. I get back home, I'm rushing out to the house. I go back, I cram out this edit. And then they're like, hey, you want to come back tomorrow? And the rest has been history. Now I'm working with them and hoping that good things continue to come. But I was forced to use DaVinci Resolve. I'm saying this story not also to say, hey, look at if you set a setup and payoff here of like, if you set yourself up for future opportunities, good things will come. But I know this video is about me switching to DaVinci. That's why I switched to DaVinci. Now, why is DaVinci great, you're asking? Like I said, there's a lot of ways that it helps the workflow. There's a lot of ways that it increases your production value, and you can look up a list of why each editing software is better, or whatever you want to really compare what you're using. I would just challenge you that DaVinci Resolve is free. I didn't have the paid version until a month ago. I was using the free version for 2 months. I edited my entire movie on DaVinci Resolve. My new short film that'll eventually come out, Zelo, which, no bias, looks incredible. It came out really cool, but I wouldn't have been able to get that crisp image and really tune it how I want. DaVinci the color space alone is worth switching, but the control it gives you and the ease of use and all of the features that it brings, and I'm continuing to learn more and more features. It just feels like this endless, and another great thing is it's a one-time purchase compared to Premiere, which you got to pay every month, and Blackmagic cares. They do. They're actively updating it and listening and making it better. And it's a software that Final Cut and Premiere have been around forever. DaVinci Resolve used to be mainly a color space, like plug-in specialty and separate software. And now it's like, where is DaVinci going to be in a couple years? If anything, it's making Premiere and Final Cut have to step their game up. But DaVinci's not quick and easy. I would say it is somewhat easy. It's not quick. Well, it is quick. You can get quick. These metaphors are all over the place, and there's I don't know where I'm quite going with this, except that I'm happy that I was forced to switch to DaVinci. And don't I would say before, whether or not you're going to be an editor, if you're a filmmaker, if you edit, just try it out. And don't give up like I did when I originally did, when I first opened it up and I'm like, this is hard to learn. It's going to get easier. And as soon as you hit that groove where you're no longer thinking about how to edit, you're just thinking about editing, if that makes sense. Like I feel like when you first start editing, you're like, all right, how do I cut? How do I move the timeline? How do you just do the actual editing, which restricts the final product? But once you get to that point where you're no longer thinking about the keybinds and how to handle and sort things, you're just thinking about how to get the story with the tools you have, then I think you should judge if it's a good software or not. So yeah, that's my DaVinci Resolve story, and I'm extremely blessed for that to have worked out like that. And I'm really glad it did, because it made me a better filmmaker, better editor, and put me in a really cool spot as a young filmmaker. So, and I met a lot of cool people through DaVinci Resolve. So DaVinci Resolve will give you everything you want. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Thank you for watching. New videos every Monday about my life as a filmmaker.